Okay, so you wanted a deep dive into wisdom, right?
Hmm.
And wow, you went straight to the source.
For sure.
Proverbs chapter 4.
Classic.
It's
Yes.
basically like a master class in making good choices,
Yeah.
except, it was written thousands of years ago.
Right.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's shockingly relevant even today.
It really is.
It's written as a father giving advice to his son,
Hmm.
but honestly, it's wisdom for anyone, any age.
I think what's so powerful about it is how it's written. It draws you in.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're talking about like guarding your heart, figuring out the right path in life.
Hmm.
It gets pretty deep. And to help us unpack all this ancient wisdom, we've got our expert here. So what really stood out to you about this chapter?
I think what really struck me was how strongly this chapter emphasizes the value of wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's presented as more precious than gold, silver,
More than anything.
than anything material.
Wow.
And it really got me thinking, what was going on back then that made wisdom that important?
That's a great question. I mean, was it about like survival?
Mm-hmm.
Like making good choices when life was just way more unpredictable?
I think that's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
But I think it also goes deeper than that.
Oh.
We have to remember this was a time when knowledge was passed down orally
Right, yeah.
from generation to generation. So wisdom wasn't just about facts. It was about understanding how to live a good life, how to navigate relationships, how to make sense of the world around you. It was the key to thriving in a community.
That makes a lot of sense. And it connects to how we even define wisdom today.
Right.
Right? It's not just what you know.
Mhm.
It's about how you apply that knowledge to live a better life.
Exactly.
Now, something that really stood out to me was the language used to describe wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
It's so passionate.
It is.
It's about cherishing wisdom, loving it, embracing it. It's almost romantic.
There's definitely this feeling that acquiring wisdom isn't just a mental exercise.
Right.
It's a transformation of your whole being.
Wow.
It changes how you see the world, how you interact with others, how you make decisions.
Yeah.
It's like falling in love in a way.
Have you ever experienced that kind of transformative learning
Oh, absolutely.
where a piece of knowledge just completely changed your outlook?
When I first discovered the idea of cognitive biases,
Okay.
it completely changed how I saw my own decision-making process.
Oh,
It was like a light bulb went off.
I love those moments, those light bulb moments.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've established that wisdom is, like, super valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Then the chapter gets into this idea of choosing the path of the righteous
Okay.
over the path of the wicked. I know it sounds very biblical,
Right.
but what does that mean outside of just, like, a religious context?
Well, I see it as a metaphor for the choices we make every day. The path of the righteous represents those choices that align with wisdom that lead to growth, fulfillment, a brighter future.
Like, the chapter uses that image of the morning sun.
Right.
It's not about this sudden, like, flash of enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gradual, consistent journey towards something better.
Exactly. And the path of the wicked, on the other hand, symbolizes those choices that lead us away from wisdom
Right.
towards, darkness and destruction.
So, I mean, not to get too dramatic,
Sure.
but even today, we have our own versions of these paths, right? I mean,
Mhm.
here we have temptations that can really lead us astray
Oh, absolutely.
and pull us away from what we know is good for us.
All the time.
Right.
Think about all the constant distractions that we face.
Oh, yeah.
The never-ending news cycle, the addictive pull of social media.
Oh, my gosh.
It's so easy to get pulled off track.
I feel that.
Yeah.
For me, it's like the fear of missing out.
Yeah.
I get so caught up in what everyone else is doing
Mm-hmm.
that I lose sight of my own goals.
It's a real struggle.
It is.
And that actually brings us to one of the most crucial pieces of advice in this whole chapter.
Okay.
Guard your heart.
Yeah, that's where the rubber really meets the road.
Mhm.
It's like the heart of the matter, pun intended.
Of course.
But like, what does guarding your heart even look like practically?
Well, I think it starts with understanding that heart in this context isn't just about emotions.
Right.
It's about your core,
Uh-huh.
your values, your decision-making center. It's the wellspring of your actions.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And there's that powerful line, everything you do flows from it. It's saying what you allow into your mind, into your heart, directly impacts your choices
Mm,
and your actions.
exactly. So guarding your heart means being mindful of what you expose yourself to.
Okay.
What are you reading? What are you watching? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are these influences leading you towards wisdom or away from it?
That is a really great point. It's like creating a filter for your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because in today's world, it's so easy to just absorb everything
Oh, yeah.
that's thrown at us.
Uh,
We need to be more intentional about what we let in.
Absolutely. It's about protecting your inner space from negativity,
Mm-hmm.
from distractions, from anything that could really cloud your judgment.
Okay, so like, how can we guard our hearts? Practically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can't just live in a bubble.
Of course not. Of course not. But we can make conscious choices.
Okay.
We can limit our exposure to negativity,
Yeah.
whether it's, toxic people or doom scrolling on social media.
Uh-huh.
Feed your mind with things that uplift you, inspire you.
Right.
Practice gratitude, mindfulness,
Yeah.
anything that helps you connect with your core values.
It's a constant process, isn't it?
It is.
This whole idea of guarding your heart, choosing the right path.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a one-time decision.
Right.
It's something we have to actively work on every single day.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's where the practical advice in Proverbs 4 comes in.
Okay.
It's like a toolkit for living wisely.
I like that.
Pay attention to good advice,
Uh-huh.
hold on to instruction, and don't let it go. Choose your words carefully. Keep your focus straight ahead.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about building those good habits one step at a time.
And there's so much emphasis on consistency.
Right.
Right. It's not about being perfect. It's about making the effort day after day
Mm-hmm.
to align your actions with wisdom.
Yeah.
Which piece of advice in the chapter really resonated with you?
That's a good question. I think for me, it's that idea of keeping your focus straight ahead, not getting distracted.
Oh, yeah.
In today's world, it's so easy to get pulled in a million different directions.
Right.
Staying focused on what truly matters,
Mm-hmm.
it's a constant challenge, but it's so worth it.
Yeah, it's like that saying, you can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So after this deep dive into Proverbs 4, what's one thing you hope our listener will take away?
I think the key takeaway is that wisdom is a lifelong pursuit.
Yes.
It's not something you achieve overnight.
Right.
It's about making those conscious choices, guarding your heart, and consistently choosing the path that leads to growth and fulfillment.
And it's a journey that gets brighter over time.
That's a great way to put it.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with this. What one small step can you take today to start moving towards that light?
Mm-hmm.
What one choice can you make that aligns with the wisdom you've gained?
That's a great question to ponder. And, if this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, I highly encourage you to read Proverbs chapter 4 for yourself.
Yes.
There is so much richness there to explore.
I couldn't agree more. All right, until next time, keep seeking that wisdom. Keep guarding your heart and keep moving towards the light.